Excepting your recent clashes with the Vanu, you cannot have escaped your notice that things here are rather peaceful, to the detriment of our garrison's discipline. Despite being built as an observation post, we have yet to record a single intrusion by the Horde. That is why, as far as everyone is concerned, Camp Cloudtop is a backwater of no significance. And of course, the pride of our camp, the vaunted Protector, is in a perpetual state of needing repairs. So even were the Holy See to come under divine attack, we would be unable to fly to their aid. Simply put, Astraviv, this is where ambition comes to die. If you have aspirations for advancement, you'll be right at home. However, I would like to think that enthusiasm can be just as contagious as apathy. If you'll indulge me, I would have you seek out the sentries and stoke their fighting spirit. Psych them up, you might say.
Hello there, oh boy.
Slain any Vanu champions yet?
No? Oh well, let me know when you have so I can make myself presentable for the...
Is it an attack?
What should we do? What should we do?
You had me fooled there for a moment, old boy. An amusing jest, albeit a tad cruel. Surely you must realize how unsuited I am to the monotony of mere sentry duty. Yet still you tempt me with the promise of excitement. No, this won't do. This won't do at all. Lady Alienia will give me a grand mission as befits my station. Is there anything fluffier than a cloud?
What is it? Is it the Horde? By the Fury, whatever possessed you to do that? I'm awake, worry not. After the shock you just gave me, I doubt I'll sleep for a fortnight.
You're looking rather grim. Why so serious? The Vanu are no real threat, and the Divanians couldn't give a fig about us. Ye gods, where did that come from? Fine. If you insist, I will make an effort to be more alert. But really, I fail to see the point. We are hundreds of miles away from the front lines, which is just the way I like it. Thank you very much. Many thanks, Master Abiv. Already I can see a change in our sentry's behavior.
I beg your pardon.
Lord Emmanuelian said what? Well, I have no doubt that Lady Elena will do her utmost to oblige him. If Lord Emmanuelian is going to demand a more dangerous duty, then I expect Lady Elena will want you to accompany him. You might as well speak with her sooner rather than later. There's no use avoiding the inevitable.
Master Beef, Lord Emmanuelian has just informed me that mere sentry duty is beneath him.
I understand we have you to thank for this epiphany. Well, there's nothing for it but to give him something more demanding, then. Can I count on you to keep him safe? Excellent. We are in constant need of fresh water in Camp Cloudtop, as there are no underground sources we can tap with wells. However, there is a unique variety of crystal we have recently discovered which may enable us to obtain water through other means. These spring crystals can be found in Vorsian Siran to the east of here. I would have you and Emmanuelian bring one back to us. You may have to contend with the feral beasts which populate the lakes, not to mention Vanu scouts ranging from their nearby settlement. Of course, that all pales in comparison to keeping the young lord entertained. But you have doubtless grown accustomed to that by now. Good luck, and be safe. Lady Elenia told you to tell me about my mission once again? If I didn't know any better, I'd swear she's avoiding me. Anyway, what is it? Go and fetch a spring crystal from the floating lakes to the east, with me. You're not making this sound terribly appealing. Still, I shall be glad to have you along. Come along, then. I had heard the minstrels' tales of these lakes, but I never honestly believed that they were real. So this is the Vorsian Siranov legend. A Naria Vanu in sight. How disappointing. I could do with some sport. I know. Why don't you and I make it a competition? Whoever finds the superior specimen wins. Honorates shall judge our entries on size, purity, and say, aesthetic sensibilities. Let us begin at once. This one? Ooh, this one takes longer. Is it this one? Master Habev, have you brought your entry for the contest? Subject to the one filled with the touch. My understanding of such things is limited, but can this truly be used to draw moisture from air like water from a pump? Fascinating. Lord Emelian has been gone for an awfully long time. Did you perchance see him while you were searching for your crystal? No. Even he must realize the dangers of wandering too far in such a place. Mayhap I'm worried about nothing, but I must ask that you assist me in looking for him. Master Habev, we shall find him in more quickly if we split up. Pray search the southeastern area of Vorsian Siran as swiftly as you're able, and rendezvous with me in the north. Farewell, and good luck. You don't do this in a slash or a horror movie where you split up. No sign of him. Master Habev, Lord Hermelian has been taken by the Vanu. They had my lord surrounded, a whole gang of them. Please, you must come quickly. The Vanu must have taken him to that village. Mayhap to present their chieftain. I will make haste to the Rose House and tell Lady Lanyette what has happened. Yet by the time I return with aid, it may already be too late. Forgive me for asking, Master B, but should you spy an opportunity to sneak past the sentries and rescue Lord Emily in my absence, I beg you to take it. I know he can be a trifle presumptuous and insensitive and, well, insufferable, but he doesn't deserve this. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Phew. Reinforcements? Anger of Hunu, chief of mighty Vundu, roars like blackest storm clouds. Of our netherlings to the white cloud sea swells and he comes. Cool.
The white, mighty Bismarck, Lord of the Mists. The flying whale. But the fury, it's a primal. We must away. Damn. Bloody typical. All right, we're going in. Aye, aye, Chief. All aboard.
Wasn't expecting that to happen. Too close. Too close. We are all of us still alive, my friend. Let us take solace in the most simple of blessings. Frightened? Me? For a fleeting moment at most. No, he doesn't have to say anything to say. The gods only know what might have happened had we not been around to save you. No need for thanks, though. It's not as if you haven't done the same for us on a few previous occasions. Alright, more than a few. 'Twas but blind chance that brought us together this time, in case you're wondering. The Holy See has petitioned the Ironworks for assistance with this creation of theirs, the Protector. Apparently they just can't seem to get her flying. Anyway, I came to Cloud Top to cast an eye over the ship. Only to learn that you had arrived some few days before with an Ishgardian lordling in tow. Small world, I thought, just as said lordling's manservant skidded into view, babbling about his master having been captured, and you, risking all to rescue him. And the rest, as they say, is history. Right, well, I hate to cut short on our reunion, but I'm here on business after all, and the boys are already hard at work. Don't worry, old friend. We'll speak again soon, I promise. Very well, I admit it. It was an incredibly harrowing experience. I could very well have died. You know, me, dead. On the other hand, by risking life and limb in the line of duty, I did succeed in uncovering the existence of a new primal. And that, old boy, is no small feat. I've made an historic discovery, a fact even Lady Annette will have no choice but to acknowledge. Yes, I am rather looking forward to basking in the sunshine of her praise. Speaking of which, isn't it time we made our triumphant return? Praise, hello, I feared the worst. What happened out there? You see... A primal? Are you sure? Yet, now that I think on it, this Bismarck is reminiscent of the white whale of Vanur legend, a massive creature said to swim in the sea of clouds. From what I've learned of comparable summonings, the presence of the Vanu's god would certainly explain the sudden change in their behavior toward the people of Camp Cloudtop. Ah, you mean to say that they have fallen under the Primal's influence? I recall reading of such things in the documents provided by my Master Alphinaud. Aren't we forgetting something important, Lady Laniette? A little recognition for the hero of the hour? A few choice expressions of gratitude, respect, admiration, and so on. Why, yes. You are right, of course. Master Habib deserves all that and more for having risked his life to rescue such an esteemed personage. Well, if there is naught else to discuss, I would depart for Ishgard forthwith. The Holy See and the Temple Knights must be informed of this new threat without delay. But of course, Master Habib, you have done more than enough here. Pray return to Ishgard with Lord Harshaphant and give my warmest regards to the Count. So that's it, then. No more forays into enemy territory. Very well. I can see my services are no longer needed. Take care, Lady Laniette. May our next meeting take place under more felicious circumstances. All's well that ends well, eh? To the airship landing, then. We can speak on the journey home. Calm as ever, even when you must surely sense the gravity of the situation. A veteran, through and through, just as Lord Drillamont said. Good. You have lost contact with the reconnaissance party sent north to Riversmeet in search of the heretics' hideaway. Whether they were attacked or met with some other misfortune, we know not. But regardless of the cause, we must act quickly. For this is a harsh, unforgiving land which can claim, and has claimed, the lives of many men. To ensure we find our missing knights as quickly as possible, I have assigned each party a different area to search. You and Lord Arturiel will be working together. Seek him out when you are ready to depart, and good luck. It seems we have been assigned the area near Camp Riversmeet, Master Habib. Lest you are unaware, the camp was one of many our knights were forced to abandon when we withdrew from the Quarta's western highlands. One of many sacrifices made in the wake of the calamity. It would not surprise me if our knights took shelter there. There is but one way to find out, though. Let us be off. There, below us, Camp Riversmeet, or what remains of it. I see no way to descend the cliff safely from here. Should we fall, the beast below would make short work of us. Come, I know a path to the riverbed below, east of the Black Iron Bridge. If the reconnaissance party came this way, I see no sign of it. Still, it is possible that recent storms have obscured their trail, or that they took an alternate route to Camp Riversmeet. Until we investigate the camp itself, we cannot be certain. We must press on. That. Any more? What happened to you? Are you all right? I heard sounds of a struggle. Thank the Fury. I thought no one would come. 3 heretics slain and 1 knight saved. Just like that. You certainly live up to your reputation, Master Habib. What happened here, sir? Is there no one else? We were caught in a furious blizzard north of here, my lord. No, but wide all around, until we saw shapes moving towards us, running towards us, with naked steel in their hands. I cut down a few of the bastards who came close, but the others, there was shouting and screaming. But after a while, I could only hear unfamiliar voices. I found my way to the camp, hoping to hide while the storm passed. But the heretics tracked you here. Aye, my lord. The heretics' hideaway lies somewhere to the north. We must move quickly before the snow buries all traces of their passing. For my brothers, we must have faith, sir. Justice will be done. But first, we must see you to safety. He has the right of it, Master Abeev. Whatever remains of the heretics' trail will be gone with the next snowfall. But we cannot very well leave our friend here. I will see him to Falcon's Nest and gather reinforcements. In the meantime, I would have you search the area to the north of the camp for signs of the attack. Should you pick up the heretics' trail, do not wait for me. Follow it back to their lair forthwith, being sure to leave me some clear footprints. I realize that this plan may place you in considerable danger, but I see no alternative. Rest assured we will not be far behind. And Enio, thank you. The tracks continue to the north. Come here, spineless heretic. No, you're not gonna get away. Oh. Oh, it's you. Looking for me, I presume. Ah, the child who glimpsed the truth. No, it cannot be. He came it unto me as didst thou. Alike in gifts, yet set upon different paths. He speaks true, warrior of light. Like you, I have been blessed with the echo. The visions terrified me at first. They came without warning. I wondered what I had done to deserve them. But I had no time to ponder such things as once the calamity came. The land turned against us, and in a matter of hours, Falcon's Nest was buried under 10 palms of ice and snow. We had no choice but to flee for Ishgard. We came to the wall, and while we searched for a way through, there was an avalanche, and then I was alone. So I set forth for Dervania. I knew full well what might happen where I found, but I could not survive on my own. I was found, of course, not by a mere dragon, but by the great worm, Hreisvelger. And it was then that I knew why I had been given this gift, for with it I heard his voice and saw the truth through his eyes. I was chosen to deliver this revelation to the people, to bring dragon and man together as they once were and should ever be. What of the innocents who died when you attacked Foundation? It wasn't supposed to be like that. You have to believe me, it was beyond my control. Children taught to fear the skies, who saw their loved ones slaughtered. Yet the Dervanians, though they know where the fault truly lies, fell upon them with such fury. Men die and dear children forget, but we are everlasting. To us, then it is as now. Thou canst not comprehend the violation, the outrage, the fury. I will make this right. I am neither a saint nor a savior, just another sinner. Yet I will not forsake this cause. I cannot. I will see this cycle broken and peace restored. We can do naught else, for we are now as one. Master B, praise alone you are alive. We came as swiftly as we could, but I see we are too late. You see... So they were lurking in the cellar of this farmhouse. It's a pity Lady Iceheart escaped, but we must not let that detract from your accomplishment. We have them on the run. You have dealt our foes a telling blow this day, my friend, and I shall see that your efforts are recognized. We are still searching the area, sir, but the only heretics we found thus far are the ones you left behind. Establishing an outpost in so remote a location could not have been easy. Tenacious devils. The knights have matters here well in hand. Let us return to Falcon's Nest and share our discoveries with Sir Redwald. Come! After trekking heretics across miles of ice and snow, I would say you are due a few hours rest next to a warm fire. Lord Tyrell, Master Abiv, full glad am I to see you both hale and healthy. What news? You see... You mean to say you hunted the heretics down on your own and slew them before reinforcements could arrive? By the fury! Whoops. Didn't mean to press that. I believe we have made great strides towards purging these lands of heretics, and I mean to say as much when I deliver my report to my father and the Holy See. As will I, Lord Tyrell. May it serve to remind our superiors what houses Durandaren for Thames could achieve through continued cooperation. Indeed, I trust you and your knights are content to handle the rest. We most certainly are, my lord. During your short time with us, you and your Master Abiv have accomplished far more than I had thought possible. I cannot in good conscience impose you upon you any longer. Pray return to Ishgard with my thanks. As you wish, Sir Redwald. We thank you for your hospitality. I confess, I have always been rather fond of airship travel. The chill of the wind upon your face, the warmth of the blood pumping in your veins from the excitement. I find the whole experience indescribably invigorating. Or mayhap it is simply the joy of having cheated death yet again. Haha! In any event, I must make for the congregation and inform Sir Amric of all that has occurred. Eminently should all return to the manor by now. Why not go and see if he has recovered from his ordeal? Ah, nice. See, we can wrap out both at the same time. Love it. Master Abiv, I would speak plain. From the first, I questioned your motives and your competence, unjustly. I now realize rumors have a way of growing more fantastic as they spread, and quite frankly, those surrounding you beg your belief. But Horschiffon swore that all the stories were true. Well, he championed your cause and begged Father to grant you patronage. And he duly listened, because, for all his wisdom, he has never been able to say no to my dear half-brother, the legacy of my father's sole indiscretion. Mother hated him, of course. Even on her deathbed, she refused to acknowledge him. And, to be honest, she was not alone in her feelings. But that is not the worst of it. At Camp Riversmeet, when we came upon the wooded knight, I knew immediately that one of us would have to pursue the heretics alone. An onerous task, fraught with danger. And there you were, the savior of Eorzea, an honored guest of House for Temps, my new comrade in arms, Harshifan's dear friend. I told myself it was to be a test, but part of me hoped that you would fail. Yet you accepted the task without a word of protest, nor any sign of fear. And you duly tracked the enemy down, faced him alone, and lived to tell the tale. Plainly, Harsifan had the right of it all along, but I doubted your strength bespeaks mine own weakness. But I will not doubt you again, Master Abid, and on that you have my word. Oh, it's you, Enio. Gods, did he have to strike me so hard? Father, he did not approve of how I handled matters in Camp Cloudtop, how I endangered the lives of others through my own recklessness and incompetence. It's not easy playing the hero, is it? Ah, Master Habib, my lord, the Count much desires to speak with you regarding your time with Lord Arturel and Lord Emmanuel. If you would remain here for a moment. The hero returns! I cannot thank you enough for saving young Emmanuelian's life. He told me everything. I've also received letters from both House Dismail and Durinder praising your conduct, and that of House for Temps. You have won as much honor, my friend. My lord! What is it? Speak. I forgive the intrusion, my lord, but I bring grave tidings. Master Alfinaud and Mistress Tatara have been detained on suspicion of fomenting heresy. What? Explain. They were observed entering a tavern in the lower levels on some half-dozen occasions. There, it is claimed they made a number of inquiries. What brought them into contact with certain elements. 'Twas which prompted a knight of the Heavensward to demand that they be questioned. Sir Grinox, my lord. Sir Grinox is a brute, an exceedingly accomplished brute, but a brute nonetheless. Alas, he is also a son of House Dismail. How quickly forget the petty nature of men. I'd wager your friends are no more than pawns in another of my countrymen's games. Such is the way of things between the high houses. Their status as wards of House for Temps should afford them preferential treatment. For a time, at least. Though you have won the hearts and minds of many of my countrymen, there are those who will never be swayed. Men who will dismiss your efforts and resent your successes, even as we celebrate them. It is like that one such member of House Dismail is manipulating Sir Grinox, for he is not a man to dabble in politics of his own volition. He may genuinely believe your friends to be guilty, though I am quite certain his masters know better. Yet the truth will avail us not if he cannot prove their innocence. You would do well to speak with Sir Amric at the congregation of our Knights Most Heavenly. He will know more of these charges. I know as little as you do of the situation, Master Abiv. Sir Amric, however, will surely know more. Enio, I had but this moment resolved to go and fetch you. I presume you have heard what happened, then. Sir Amric had told me much and more about you. Suffice it to say my expectations are high. That they should regard the signs with just suspicion even after you stood with us on the steps of fate is bad comedy. Yet unlike the grave injustice you suffered in Ul'dah, this wrong may swiftly be righted. It has been too long, Enio. Would that this visit came under happier circumstances. You are come to plead for Master Alfinaud and Mr. Sotaro, I take it. Word of their detainment reached us while I was delivering my report on the Vanu Primal. Truly, I know not which is the more ludicrous, these charges, or that flying feathered whale. That Sir Grenaug's accusations are baseless, I have no doubt. Refuting them will be difficult, however, as he is a knight of the Heavensward. I speak of the personal guard of the Archbishop, the 12 finest knights in all of Ishgard, sworn to serve his eminence alone. Suffice it to say their testimony is unimpeachable, and I have not the authority to challenge their actions. After all the Scions have done, routing the heretics and defeating Shiva, helping us to defend the steps of fate and drive back the Dravanian horde, after proving themselves true allies on countless occasions, is there naught we can do? I fear there is but one path left to us. We must demand a trial by combat. But of course! In a trial by combat, sanctioned by the Inquisition, the victor's claim is judged true regardless of the petitioner's standing. Under Ishgardian law, a trial by combat pits the accuser against the accused. In this instance, Master Alfinaud and Mr. Sotaro would be expected to face Sir Grenaug and a second of his choosing. Another knight of the Heavensward, most like. 2 of them? By the Fury, that can hardly be considered fair. Master Alfinaud's magical talents will not have gone unnoticed, meaning that he will have no choice but to participate. Mr. Sotaro, on the other hand, is quite obviously bereft of martial skill, and should be afforded the right to name a champion to fight in her stead. Lest you doubt, I am ready and willing to serve in this capacity, as I am sure is Lord Haurchefant, but all here present know that you are the most accomplished warrior among us, and mayhap in the realm at large. Then it is settled! I will visit Master Alfinaud at once and inform him of our intentions. Enio, meet me at the tribunal when you have made ready. Until then, my friend. Listen carefully, Enio. When the trial begins, the petitioner will be asked to restate his charges, and the accused invited to respond. Then, in accordance with the law, they will be asked to restate their request for a trial by combat. Once the High Educator acknowledges Mr. Sotaro's right to name a champion, that is when you must make your entrance. Ooh, I cannot wait to see the look on Sir Grenaug's face when he sees his true opponent. It will be priceless. Or seriously, should you begin to lose heart, look to me in the stands and I shall cheer so loud you will wonder how could you ever have contrived to doubt yourself. Now, are you ready? Oh, we are. We are gathered here today under the watchful gaze of the Fury to ascertain the guilt of 2 souls in a trial by combat. Petitioners, step forward. Sir Grenaug, For the benefit of all here present, I would ask you to repeat the charges which you have leveled against this man and this woman.
I, Sir Grenaux du Zemel, brother of the Heavensward, did bear witness to these two foreigners consorting with heretics.
Let the accused step forward. Alfinod Levalier, Taru, you have heard the charges leveled against you. Will you take up arms to refute Sir Grenau's claim and thereby prove your innocence in the eyes of gods and men? I, Alfinod Levalier, I'm innocent of this charge and claim my right to trial by combat. I, Taru, I'm innocent of this charge. But I am the warrior and cannot fight, so I claim the right to name a champion. To the old and the infirm, the young and the weak, this right we allow. Very well, who will stand for this woman? Just as I was beginning to doubt the efficacy of the Ishgardian justice system. Come, my friend, let us put an end to this mummer's farce. O alone, render unto us your judgment. Raise up the righteous and cast down the wicked. Oh yeah. Just repeat AoE again and again and again. Yeah. Finish them. Oh, we're going to finish this. We're the ones gonna finish them. Piece of cake. I mean, we won! The Fury has spoken. Alfina Levelir Tataro Taro, you are hereby acquitted of all charges. Blessed are we who receive of her wisdom and see justice wrought by her divine hand. Petitioners accused, go forth in peace. Delivered from an untimely demise, yet again. My thanks, as always. That was interesting. By the Fury, what a splendid victory! To see how you strove in the face of adversity, two brave young souls bound together by the puissant bonds of camaraderie. Why, it stirred me to the very depths of my soul. Having been treated to such a rousing spectacle, it seems only right that I present you with a humble token of mine admiration. Pray receive of me this chocobo whistle. With it, you may summon a black chocobo, fully trained and ready to fly. Oh, cute. That's cute. Magnificent, is she not? Strong, yet sleek. Elegant, yet eager. What say you, Enio? Will you take her for your steed? Yes. Lord Harshaphon, chocobos are prohibited in the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine. Your steed must remain outside. Yeah? Black chocobos are all well and good, but the true reward for your efforts is the exoneration of your comrades. They shall be released upon the completion of certain minor formalities, which I mean to see personally. In the meantime, pray return to Fort Thames Manor. The Count has done so already, and will doubtless be eager to discuss the day's events. Alone smiles on us yet again, Master Beeve, guiding you to victory and setting your comrades free. I confess, I did fear for your safety, which is not to say I doubted your prowess. You understand, I merely knew the strength of your opponents. You do have a habit of exceeding my expectations. Besting two of the Heavensward while the city's elite looked on. By the Fury, anyone who hasn't been paying attention to you will surely do so from now on. My lord, we have just received a message from the vault. His Eminence the Archbishop requests the presence of Master Habev. An invitation from the Archbishop? What an honor. A personal summons is indeed a great honor, and given recent events, you'd be wise not to delay. Go, Master Habev, we shall speak anon. A priest will be waiting for you outside the vault. Identify yourself to him and he will escort you inside. We are honored to receive you, Master Habev. This way, please. Your Eminence, it is My honor to represent to you the warrior of light. I have heard the tales of your many grand endeavors. The Lord Commander has also been most effusive in his praise. I am Thordan VII, Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church, and I bade you come here that I might offer my personal apologies. You will forgive me for not calling upon you as courtesy would dictate, but as you can see, my more sprightly days are long behind me. But I digress. Your companions were wrongly accused of heresy and subjected to gross indignities. This, I am sorry to say, was the result of negligence on the part of our nation's protectors. Negligence born of an excess of zeal. Is that not so, Sir Zephyrin? Yes, Your Eminence. Regrettably, it would appear that we of the Heavensward were in receipt of erroneous information. Sir Grinnell has ever been headstrong. He pressed charges before the truth had been ascertained, for which I most sincerely apologize. An unfortunate misunderstanding born of an earnest desire to serve Ishgard, but one which should never have occurred. For who could doubt the character of those who bested Shiva and drove the horde from the steps of fate? Not I, that much is certain. That will be all, Sir Zephyrin. I would speak with our guest in private. Your Eminence, As you wish, Your Eminence. That will be all for today. Privacy is a luxury rarely afforded one in my position. Now, tell me, young man, what do you know of the Ascians? Much and more. I shouldn't wonder, being the bringer of light. You should know that I myself have met with them, have entertained them as guests, even. Those harbingers of chaos and strife offered as power that we might continue our war against the dragons. I have no intention of aiding their cause, of course, nor less of being their puppet. Yet were I to refuse them outright, I should learn naught of their true objectives and remain powerless to stop them. Thus have I hearkened to their words with interest, and paid lip service to their beliefs, biding my time and preparing for the inevitable conflict. And why do I tell you this? Because there is not in this world a fear more than the power of the warrior of light. We are to rid ourselves of these vile interlopers. We must needs work together. With our combined strength, I have faith that we can wrest Eorzea from their grasp and pave the way for lasting peace. Think on it. There you are. I confess, I was more than a little concerned when I learned that you had been summoned to the vault. What did they want with you? You see, Well. A formal apology and an punishment for those responsible. I see my fears were wholly misplaced. And there was... By the gods, the Archbishop freely admits to consorting with Ascians. So their ambitions extend to Ishgard as well. We will have new primals to contend with here along. Of that you may be certain. It's but a matter of time, yet shorn of the support of our missing allies. What can we realistically hope to achieve? In the midst of all the excitement, I completely forgot to tell you. When I was asking around about the Scions, I heard the most awful rumor. General Raubahn is to be executed for crimes against the Sultanate. If the Flame General dies, we will lose a staunch ally, and the one man capable of holding the Sultanate's assassins to account. Lord Horsefront was wise to counsel restraint, but this business will brook no delay. You cannot permit this execution to take place. We must save Raubahn. Guys, I hope we're not too late to save General Raubahn. Should have told you sooner about the execution. I mean, what with the trial and everything? Though the situation calls for urgency, it would avail as little to charge headlong into Ul'dah without a plan. Before we can formulate a plan, however, we must first learn how things stand in the Sultanate, which is why I propose that we visit Limsa Lominsa. Aye, you heard me right. While you were about your altruistic endeavors, I acted as an intermediary in trade negotiations between House Fortemps and a Lominsan consortium. During said negotiations, an opportunity to send word to the Admiral presented itself, and I duly seized it. I'm happy to report that we yet have a stout ally in Limsa. The Admiral has pledged her full cooperation in any effort to rescue Raubahn. Accordingly, I have agreed to meet with her, that we might discuss how best to proceed. Naturally, I told her to expect us both. Your presence never fails to embolden our allies, after all. When you arrive in Limsa Lominsa, make yourself known to Sergeant Xantile at Bulwark Hall on the lower decks. He will meet you to the bridge. Friends, it's good to see you safe and well. I will admit, I had not counted on you seeking, let alone finding, refuge within the Holy See. But full glad was I to learn that you had. Thankfully, we had allies there who took us under their wing, and theirs was not the only aid we received, I suspect. When we fled Ul'dah, we fully expected to become wanted men, known to all and hounded at every turn. Yet that did not come to pass. On the contrary, it would seem the charges against us have not been made public. Why we have you to thank for that, Admiral? Sharp as ever, Master Finod. On Marshal Taropin's urging, the Elder Seedseer and I demanded that the Syndicate suppress news of the Scion's alleged crimes until such time as irrefutable evidence could be found. Our argument was simple, lacking proof. To accuse the saviors of the realm of so unlikely a crime would have the people up in arms. In their wisdom, the Syndicate agreed, as you yourself have seen. There is something you should know. Few days prior to the banquet, the Elder Seedseer and I were summoned for a private audience with the Sultana. There, she revealed her intent to announce her abdication, that she might pave the way for the establishment of an Ul'dah republic. What? But such an announcement would have plunged the entire nation into chaos. She was well aware of that. 'Twas for fear of what might ensue that she summoned us. Her Grace wanted the Elder Seedseer and I to lend Raubahn a helping hand. You see, to aid him in preserving the peace during the transition. So, having somehow caught wind of her plan, Lolurito and Telegi plotted the Sultana's assassination in the hope of maintaining the constitutional status quo. But they must have known that her death would sow as much chaos as her abdication, chaos from which Telegi alone might feasibly stand to profit. Surely Lolorito would never knowingly... Oh, could it be? I dare not hope. The Olden authorities have yet to announce the Sultana's passing. To allay any suspicion that may arise from Her Grace's absence, they have issued a statement to the effect that she is presently convalescing from illness. Mayhap they are waiting for a fitting moment to break the news, or mayhap they know of some other reason to delay. Something else has been bothering me, Admiral. I was dismayed to learn that General Raubahn is to be executed. Yet upon hearing the news, I could not help but wonder why he had been kept alive for so long. Pray mistake not my meaning. I am, of course, overjoyed that our friend still draws breath and that he might yet be saved. But if his enemies truly wish to eliminate him, they could have done so immediately. I see no reason for this delay. Aye, you have struck upon an important point, Master Alfinaud. Following his capture, Raubahn has been held in a Maharaja pit within Ul'dah. In recent days, however, he has reportedly been moved to an unknown location. Queerly, it was not the brass blades who spirited him away either, but a band of soldiers decked in blue. The Crystal Braves. Aye, if I read the winds aright, the arrangements between Lolorito and the Braves has come under strain. At any rate, if we are to rescue Raubahn, we'll have to find him first. And you'll be glad to hear that I've already entrusted the task to those best able to see it done. Our friends of Doma. Raubah's survival is vital to the Eorzean Alliance. We can ill afford to lose him. But I cannot send troops into Ul'dah. It would spell the end of the Alliance, and war, like as not. If there is to be a rescue, it falls to you and yours to attempt it. I would not have it any other way, Admiral. It was I who founded the Crystal Braves, and I who must take responsibility for their actions. Spoken like a true leader, Master Alfinaud. By way of a first step, you should seek out our Doman contact. You will find her among the frontier hands at Revenant's Toll, working in a kitchen. The Crystal Braves may no longer answer to me, but does that not absolve me of responsibility. As commander, I am accountable for all wrongs they have committed, all the havoc they have wreaked. Though it's useless to dwell on the past, I often wonder if I could have, and should have, done more for you and Raubahn that day. Leaving the banquet was tantamount to leaving you and yours for dead. Should you think me craven, I won't hold it against you. But I will make it up to you, this I swear. Come what may, know that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn can count on our cooperation. Could she be the Doman contact of whom the Admiral spoke? Estinien! I knew in my heart that you were safe. But to see you again in the flesh, words cannot well express my relief. Even as the victory feast was taking place, the Crystal Braves turned upon us and took the rising stones by force. Amid the chaos, some few of my compatriots and I were able to slip away unnoticed. Since then, we have remained in Revenant's Toll, keeping watch over the mutineers while waiting your return. You have done well by us, and we Domans do not soon forget our debts. We swear to do all within our power to aid you. Shortly before you arrived, I received word from Linz of Leminza that you were searching for General Raubahn. As the Admiral will have informed you, he was recently moved from his cell in the Maharaja pit. At the same juncture, Yuhase and the 3rd Unit were observed leaving the Rising Stones. This can be no simple coincidence. Their purpose, we believe, is to escort the Flame General to the scene of his execution. Suffice it to say, we are people shadowing the 3rd. If you would join the hunt, pray seek out Doware at Highbridge, where I too am bound. It has been a while since I last wore this garb. Since I came to Revenant's Toll, my days have been spent in kitchens. Fear not, however, though I have learned to wield a skillet, I have not forgotten the use of a dagger. Yuhase, The mere mention of the name calls to mind the moment I felt the kiss of cooled steel against my neck. I've been expecting you. Time is of the essence, so I shall be direct. Iyase and his men are bound for Halatili. We believe that this is where they intend to carry out the execution. Hozan is personally keeping watch of the entrance. Let us make haste and join him. Raubah's ties to Halatali are well known. That Ilbert should choose this of all places to stage his execution is no coincidence. The fiend. Are there no depths to which he will not stoop? You come at a good time, my friends. But moments ago, the traitor Ilbeard arrived and entered Halatali. From this, we may be certain that General Raubahn is being held within. There's no time to lose. General Aldine may be executed at any moment. You must enter Halatali and free him from his captors. Please see to your preparations and tell me when you're ready to proceed. One of our own will accompany you inside. Pray forgive me for my lateness. Lady Ugiri. Master Afenaut, I am pleased to see that the light of resolve shines in your eyes once more. Ah, yes. How pathetic my must have seemed to you when we last met. I'm ashamed to recall it. For a time, I was well and truly lost. But with the aid of my comrades, I have since refound my purpose, and I shall take care not to misplace it again. Since your escape from Ul'dah, my fellow shinobi and I have shadowed the Crystal Braves every step in hopes of learning the Scion's whereabouts. Regrettably, our investigation has yet to yield any useful information. Pray forgive us. You need not apologize, my lady. We are grateful for all that you have done on our behalf. Besides, Raubahn is no less a friend, and we cannot well abandon him to his fate. Hozan, the trio of us shall attend to the Flame General's rescue. Pray draw away the guards by the entrance. Take Duar and Hagiri with you. With me. This is too convenient. They knew we were coming. He is bound by some kind of magic device, yet I dare not force it open. It may well be booby-trapped. I've heard of such devices. The Crystal Braves will possess the key. Let us split up and look for it. That will not be necessary. Pray do not take it personally, my friends. You are the victims of harsh economic conditions. Happily, you will not suffer for long. This poison will convey you swiftly onto the bosom of Tal, where I hope to join you after the passing of many prosperous years. It's kind of convenient how they knew we were coming. Easy. But there must be something more to this. My thanks. Slowly, General. You are yet weak from your ordeal. Nevertheless, we must quit this place. I should have known. What are clever contrivances, although... wait, no. I should have known. What are clever contrivances to the Warrior of Light. Well done, hero. Ilbeard. You mean to struggle on, then? Very well. If you would stand in my way, I will cut you down like all the rest. Come, Scions, let's get this over with. That leaves you, Ilbeard. This changes nothing. It is over, Aelbeard. Lay down your arms and surrender yourself to justice. Justice? Justice for what exactly? Was not I who assassinated the Sultana, boy? Ere we debate who is responsible for the assassination, I would ask whether an assassination took place at all. Clever little shite. If you think you fight for justice, lad, you best wake up. The truth is, you fight war whoever bloody well tells you to. Can you not see you're being used? By the Scions, the city-states, even the Crystal Braves. They none of them care a whit what you want, only what you can do for them. And how do I know this? Because I'm the same, a pawn to be used as my master see fit. All I ever wanted to do was to liberate my homeland, and I ate dirt to make it happen. But what I have achieved after all these years in servitude? Nothing. Not a bloody thing. If we ourselves are not free to think and to act, how are we ever to reclaim our homeland? Know this, there is nothing I would not give to take back Alamigo. Nothing! You will not get away. No, Master Alfinau, now is not the time. I'm but a cripple and a fool, and you still came for me. I'm in your debt. We are all of us fools of late, General, but even fools have a part to play. We stand with you. Rest assured, I was not planning to die till I'd avenged the Sultana. Still, your words are welcome, lad. Know this, Aelbeard, there is nothing I would not give to see you pay for what you have done. My wealth, my arm, my life, nothing! General, are you aware that Lord has yet to announce the Sultana's death to the public? What? No. No, I was not aware of that, nor of anything else outside my cell. It's passing strange, though. I assumed the bastard would make it known at the first opportunity and set about tearing down the Sultanate. As did we all. And it is indeed strange that he did not. Strange, or perhaps revealing. Now, I have no conclusive proof, nor do I wish to give you false hope. But I have reason to believe that her grace may yet live. What? But how can that be? Forgive me, friends, but it's not safe here. Let us continue this conversation without. The general is safe. What news without? My lady, the guards have been subdued, as per your command. We have since kept watch over the entrance. There has been no further activity. And Aelbeard and his minions have fled via some other egress. Scour the perimeter for signs of their passing. At once, my lady. General Dean, I presume, and the science of the Seventh Dawn. Who are you? Identify yourself. Pray do not be alarmed. My mistress is a friend, and I come bearing a message of goodwill. For your own safety, she bade me direct your steps to the Waking Sands. Know that Master Urianger awaits you there, along with others sympathetic to your cause. There is no ruse, I assure you. Geraldine, if you will come with me, I have prepared a carriage, that you may travel in comfort, safe from prying eyes. I have spoken with Urianger via Link Pearl. He confirms the man's story. Raubahn is in safe hands. Let us make our own way to Vesper Bay. My dearest friends, praise be unto the 12 for delivering you from the clutches of treachery. Father! Pippin, my son, and Master Papashan besides. Forgive me, Father. I should have been at Her Grace's side. Save your tears. The Sultana yet lives. You. It was I who arranged this gathering. And judging by your perplexed expressions, it would seem introductions are in order. I am Dulala, head of the Order of Nalatal, and member of the Syndicate. What you said about the Sultana, is it true? Is she alive? Young man, I understand you were with the Sultana when she drank from the poisoned goblet and collapsed. Would I be correct in assuming that you did not personally verify Her Grace's vital signs? Don't think anyone did. Or maybe did, I don't know. Why ask? When it's plain you know the answer. Calm yourself, General, and let me finish. The truth is not as you imagine it. You're all victims of a most ingenious ruse. A ruse conceived to eliminate the threat posed by Tiliji Aligi. It is my belief that Tiliji plotted the Sultana's assassination alone, but that Lolorito caught wind of his plot and exploited it to his own ends. He sought to manipulate you into eliminating Tiliji from him, and you duly obliged. At one fell swoop, he removed his two foremost rivals, all the while remaining above suspicion. God, strike me down for a fool. But the Sultana, how can it be that she lives? She lives because Lolorito willed it. Her own lady-in-waiting is but one of his many little birds. By her sleight of hand, the poison was switched for a less deadly draught before it could reach her mistress's lips. Some manner of sedative, perchance, of a potency sufficient to induce a slumberer like unto death. Were I to guess, I would say Her Grace is being held somewhere, dreaming dreams of a brighter Olda even as we speak. Oh, Nanamo. I will never forgive Lolorito for his part in this. Though Lolorito's hands are far from clean, they did pluck Her Grace from the jaws of death. That must count for something. And though one may call the man's methods into question, it cannot be denied that he knows the value of stability. To the very gill, like as not. He craves power, 'tis true, but he has no desire to depose the Sultana. I had never taken sides in your feud with the Monitors, but it was not for want of concern for our nation's welfare. Indeed, 'twas out of the desire to see order restored that I furnished your Far Eastern friends with information, and arranged this gathering. I hope you are ready to work, General, for there is much work to be done. Our first priority must be to bring matters back into balance. Lest you forget Her Grace's words, the true wealth of Olda lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people. As for the more worldly kind of wealth, I am content to let Lolorito help himself to whatever Tiliji left behind. You, meanwhile, must do that which you alone can do. Rescue her grace and take your place at her side once more. For her sake, and that of our nation. I had not counted on Prioress Deolala herself appearing. In my defense, my suspicions regarding the Sultana proved more prescient. Much remains to be done, but in rescuing Raubahn, we have taken a vital first step towards resolving matters in Ulta. We couldn't have done it without you, Enio. Thank you. My fellow Domans and I are glad to have been of service in the Flame General's rescue. If there is else we can do, know that we are ever at your disposal. Father's spirit burns as fiercely as ever was. I was proud of him when he ruled the Blood Sands as the Bull of Alamigo, and I am proud of him now. It avails us not to dwell upon that which we have lost. No, we must focus on protecting that which we yet have. Thank you for rescuing General Raubahn, from the bottom of my heart. To behold him now, gaunt and unkempt, it pains me to think of all the hardship he has endured. If we are to see stability restored to Ulda, we must needs set aside our differences. No more can there be monetarists or royalists. Ataru? Yes. General Raubahn is now in safe hands. What? Another assault? Very well. We shall return at once. Pray notify the Count of our coming. It would seem we face another crisis. The Ravanians are preparing to resume their siege of the Holy See. Though I am loath to abandon the Sultana to her fate, we lack the necessary evidence to act upon Deolala's claims. That being the case, I propose we leave Marshal Toropin and the others to investigate, and return with all haste to Ishgard. Ah, there you are! Sorry for cutting your reunion with General Raubahn short. I wouldn't have bothered you, but the city is awash with rumors of another Dervanian attack. Our Lord Harshaphon was desperate to get a hold of you. Speaking of whom, he and the others are waiting for you inside, so you better head in. My friend, I thank you for answering our call with such alacrity. As I am sure you are now aware, the Dervanians are once more gathering for war. Master Abeev, Master Lemilior, I must apologize for this abrupt summons, but we thought it best to have Mr. Sotaru contact you by the most direct means available. When the Observatorium's bells toll, it is a warning that cannot be ignored. The Holy See has ordered that we make ready for battle. In case you haven't heard, a band of trappers returning from the west claim they saw a cloud of dragons big enough to dim the midday sky. Nidhogg's minions gather once more for war. But I would not have you take up arms in another one of our conflicts. When first you came to Ishgard, I offered you my protection. If I cannot ensure your safety here, I cannot well accept your aid, much less ask for it. Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are faced with a choice: to remain in the besieged Ishgard or seek sanctuary elsewhere. I will not presume to influence your decision, but I must ask that you make it swiftly, lest our enemies force your hand. What will become of this place? And us? How many dragons would it take to darken the midday sky, do you think? 1,000? More? Too many at any rate. How many dragons would it take to darken the midday sky, do you think? 1,000? More? Too many at any rate. The coming of the Horde spells ruins for Ishgard, but her knights shall fight to the last to shield their citizens from harm. The Observatorium bells have tolled. Either flee this place or make ready for war. I confess, I know not where else you might seek sanctuary, but few places are like to be more perilous than a city under siege. Though we flee to the ends of the world, it would seem that no place in this troubled age is free of strife. Once more the Horde descends upon Ishgard, and once more her weary defenders must take up spear and bow. The Count would have seek shelter from this storm, but I, for one, grow tired of running. If we are to shine the light of dawn, we must do so in the sight of our fellow man, not hunkered in a hole. What say you, Enio? I would stay and fight. Then fight we shall. Let it never be said that we abandon our allies in their hour of need. The choice we make this day may have grave implications of our order. It is only right that Tataru should have a say. Come, let us all meet outside and discuss the path that lies before us. Ishgard cannot well endure another assault. Even should her knights succeed in turning back the Horde, the casualties will be catastrophic. But what other choice do we have? It's not like we can talk it over with them. Dragons and men aren't exactly on speaking terms. With certain notable exceptions. You don't mean Iceheart? When last you spoke with her, she lamented her crime, did she not? Then there remains a sliver of hope. If you can persuade Iceheart to act as our intermediary, we may yet be able to convince Nidhogg to abandon his bloody course. If there is to be a meeting, I would accompany you. Estinien? Even with your intermediary, Nidhogg's blood rage may render him deaf to reason. However, the mere attempt may afford our forces precious time to prepare. Of course, you might also consider a more direct approach to ending this conflict. With the power of the Eye at my disposal, and the vaunted strength of the Warrior of Light, we could conceivably slay the beast outright. If you are to risk a face-to-face meeting with the dread worm, I for one would feel safer in the company of the Azure Dragoon. However, I should only turn to your lance if my words fail to find their mark. Is that clear? Perfectly. I shall assume that Iceheart enjoys similar diplomatic protection until instructed otherwise. A word of advice. Think carefully before divulging the particulars of this plan to Sir Imeric. Would not do to have the Lord Commander accused of consorting with heretics. Indeed. I thank you for your counsel, Estinien. We shall be honored to have you with us. I'm glad to be of service. We have chosen a difficult road. Yet even should we succeed in winning Iceheart to our cause, our plans for Farley will swiftly come to naught should the Holy See decide to strike first against the Horde. We must petition the Lord Commander's aid here we set forth. I only hope that Sir Imeric will be willing to muscle Ishgard's forces on the strength of our vague assurances. Taru, I would ask that you remain at Fort Thames Manor and inform the Count of our decision. Tell him that the Scions of the Seven Dawn mean to do it all in their power to ensure that Ishgard and her people survive. Yes, sir. You would speak with the Lord Commander? Pray make it quick. I want the defenses of the Outer Ward rechecked. See to it that the ballistas are in good repair and supplied with enough ammunition for a prolonged siege. At once, my lord! Ah, it would seem I have visitors. And unlike those massing beyond our walls, these ones are welcome. Pray forgive us for interrupting you in the midst of your preparations, Sir Imeric, but our suit concerns the impending assault. To speak plain, we believe there is a chance the invasion might be halted before it even begins. I can divulge little more at this time, but I must nevertheless request that you advise the Holy See to refrain from launching any preemptive sorties whilst we seek to put our plans in motion. I will gladly lend my support to any endeavor that could spare the blood of my countrymen. But I would know more of the cause you would have me champion. Will you not share aught of this mysterious undertaking? Know that I have offered my lands to aid in this endeavor. I cannot claim that its success is assured, but our actions should serve to delay Nidhogg's advance at the very least. Which is more than can be said for the ill-conceived counterattack advocated by the sea's more vocal crusaders. They offer a glorious death, but little hope of victory. Aye, their proposal does not inspire confidence. Our resources should rightly be spent shoring up the city's defenses. The Azure Dragoon and the Warrior of Light, sallying forth together to face the dread worm, Nidhogg. I must admit, the mere thought of it does much to dispel my misgivings. Go, then. Carry out your plan. I shall do what I can for you within the Holy See. I will say this for your plan. It has made keeping secrets from the Holy See seem almost entertaining. Having secured ceramic support, we may proceed without fear of a preemptive Ishgardian attack, which is not to say we can afford to dither. History tells us that the Ravanians will attack as soon as their horde reaches a critical size. Before that happens, we must needs track down and win over the Lady Iceheart, and then locate and parley with Nidhogg. In short, time is against us. If you are ready, Estinien, let us be about our task. Such commotion. Yes, Your Eminence. The bells of the Observatorium warn of our enemy's approach. So, the dragons are coming. Let them come, in their hundreds, and their thousands. With the divine blade in our hands, we shall rend their flesh and drown the heretics in their master's blood. Even Nidhogg and his foul brood shall be powerless to resist us. And when we have rid the world of their pestilence, we shall turn our attention to our ashen allies, see what they are suitably rewarded for their invaluable assistance. If I may, Your Eminence, the Paragons wield powers strange and unknowable. Can we be certain that they will not see through our deception? We can be certain of not save the righteousness of our cause. If you would be a true leader of men, you must possess conviction as well as caution. We seek to excise the root of an evil that has blighted us for 1,000 years. The risk is worth the reward. And what of Estinien and his Warrior of Light? They have plans of their own. Leave them to their purpose. We must each play the role we have been given. You and your chosen brothers, most of all. For the glory of King Dordan. Before we set forth, we must needs inform Tataru of our plans. Then I shall await you at Saint Reniet's Forum. Tell your friend we may be some time. The road you have chosen is neither short nor easy. Of that I need no reminding. Come, let us head back to Forthame's Manor. Our course is set, Tataru. It may be some time before Enio and I return to Ishgard. Well, just you be careful, alright? Oh, and don't worry about me. I'll be busy listening out for news of our lost friends. If anyone can find them, it is you, Tataru. Farewell, for now. Oh, before you go, you must put this on, Alvinaud. I made it specially. No, I couldn't possibly. Very well. The 12, it fits perfectly. The quality is actually rather good. I'm glad you like it. I've been practicing my needlework while I listen to the rumors and like. A good reception is always learning new skills. My thanks, Tataru. Whatever else waits me up on the road, I shall not fear the cold. That's the least I could do. Now I must be getting back to the tavern, or I'll never catch up with all the gossip. Best of luck on your journey. This new attire will serve me well in the bitter cold of Quertas. I shall have to thank the Tauru properly upon our return. You have said your farewells, then? Aye, we are ready to depart. I suggest we begin our search for Lady Iceheart without delay. Very well. But you will prove an elusive quarry. Where do you intend to start looking? In the absence of any fresh intelligence on Izael's movements, I propose we pick up the trail where she was encountered last. The Querta's Western Highlands. Let us speak with Sir Edwald, was it? As the commander of Falcon's Nest, it is like that he will know if any heretic activity has been reported in the area. Well. Master Habib, what business brings you back to Falcon's Nest? Judging by the company you keep, it can be no trifling matter. The Azure Dragoon, I know, of course, but I do not believe I have met this young gentleman. Alfinaud Levelier at your service. You are not mistaken as to the gravity of our mission, Sir Edwald. As I am sure you are aware, the Observatarium has warned that the Dervanians gather for another assault. We believe there may yet be a way to avert the common conflict, but only if we can find the elusive Lady Iceheart. Thus we have come to Falcon's Nest in the hope of acquiring the latest intelligence on the heretics' movements. I see. Then you would be best served by speaking directly to my men. A patrol is due to return from its sweep of the surrounding lands at any moment. You may also wish to question the knights assigned to pick over the remains of the heretic refuge at Gorgan Mills. It's possible they have unearthed information that could be of use to you. Master Habib knows well the place I speak of, for it was he who first discovered it. Let us divide our forces, then. I will stay and await the return of the patrol while the two of you visit this refuge. When I have completed my inquiries, I will join you there. A wise use of our time. Come, Enio. I'm eager to learn what Sir Edwald's men have found in the heretic's lair. Just a simple farmhouse. Makes one wonder what other innocent facades and the heretics have chosen to hide behind. Master Habib! Our findings, you say? Well, there is something of a tale there. No sooner had we chanced upon a promising-looking sheaf of letters than we were ambushed from the shadows by great white beasts. It would seem the heretics foresaw our coming, and left behind their pets to discourage further investigation. Several of our number were badly wounded. And you cannot carry out your duties until the creatures are slain. We have not the time to wait for reinforcements. Let us deal with these pets ourselves, Enio. Ooh, Alpinaud is right here. Oh dear. The creature took me by surprise. Forgive me, until my hands stop shaking, I fear I shall prove more a hindrance than a help. Pray go on ahead, and when you are certain the rest of these things have been slain, notify the expedition leader that it is safe to return. Well, that's not intimidating. I heard a frightful growling from below. You encountered more of the beasts, I take it. My inquiries availed me not. The patrol leader had little to say beyond which of his extremities the frost had bitten the hardest. The beasts are slain, then. My thanks, Master Abeev. We may return to our duty without a fear of a mauling. You wish to track down Lady Iceheart, is this not so? The records we discovered here, those beasts mauled by comrades, appear to be some manner of correspondence. We had not the luxury of perusing their contents more closely, intent as we were on surviving an onslaught of fang and claw. But I'd wager those epistles contain more than friendly salutations betwixt lonely heretics. My interrogation of the patrol proved proofless. Either we divine some clue from these letters, or we wander the snowfields and pray that the gods lead us right to Iceheart's door. It's hardly a choice at all. I have found some few of these letters. Let us get a respectable stack and see what secrets the expedition captain can wring from the collected correspondence. Where are these damnable pages? I'd rather battle 20 AVs than continue this confounded search. Have you recovered much of the heretics' correspondence? Yeah. Splendid! Added to the contributions from Master Livelier and Sir Estinien, we now have more than a dozen letters. What we have here, then... Every one of these pages is a record of the dealings betwixt the Gorgan Mills heretics and their fellows in the EnioHabev amphitheater. They are requests for foodstuffs, clothing, and all manner of provisions. Iceheart's followers must yet inhabit the ruins we had thought abandoned. The EnioHabev amphitheater, the very place where you witnessed the manifestation of the primal Shiva, was it not? If that is our destination, the journey will be long indeed. The amphitheater lies on the other side of a treacherous tract of ice and snow that cannot swiftly be crossed. Then we must place our faith in the Ethernet. As you may recall, our dear friend Moimbreda succeeded in creating the EnioHabev beacon after it had been destroyed by Lady Iceheart. At the time, it was assumed that the resultant Aetherite would only be temporarily viable. But given that the heretics of Gorgan Mills seem to be in regular contact with their brethren at the amphitheater, I'll wager it still functions. I suggest we make for the Aetherite within Snowcloak without delay. Correct me if I'm wrong, Estinien, but in the course of mapping the Snowcloak tunnel system, a passage was discovered leading out into the Western Highlands, was it not? Might it be possible for us to reach the Aetherite from this side of the wall? It should. Housed during their posted soldiers at the Western Highlands enters after the tunnels were cleared. But they will not deny us entry. We have begun surveying the warrens for the western entrance, but progress is slow. It would seem not all the rats have left the nest. What ails our young lord? The moment we arrived at the wall, his face took an aspen pallor. Does he fear facing the heretics within their own lair? Do you recall the first time you ventured into these tunnels in search of Lady Iceheart? It seems an age ago, does it not? Back then, I still believed myself the commander of the Crystal Braves. Ah, the guest of House for Temps, accompanied by the Azure de Grue, no less. I cannot imagine what brought you out this far, but you are welcome to enter the tunnels if that is your will. Assuming the EnioHabev beacon still functions, and we must pray to the 12 it does, we shall arrive at our destination in mere moments. So I do not expect to be greeted by the primal Shiva. We should nevertheless be prepared for a frosty reception. The heretics are not like to rejoice at the appearance of uninvited guests, particularly ones with our history. An impressive structure. I wonder how many ages it has endured. Mayhap you should ask its occupants. They seem a friendly bunch. Dogs of Ishgard, it is not enough that you banish our beloved saint. Will you not be satisfied until the ice is slick with the last drops of our blood? Stay your weapons. We come under the flag of parley. We wish only to speak with your mistress, that we might broker a peace. Do you think us fools, boy. It'll take more than honeyed words to earn our trust. You walk with the Dragon Slayer, and we all know all too well what he is capable of. My reputation precedes me. They give us little choice. Come, brothers! May dragon wings bear us to victory. Bam! Just like that. Did they fight like demons? Is that to remain? Fall back, brothers. Retreat to the cinders. I see no sign of Lady Iceheart. Would that we could have questioned one of them. What would you ask that we do not already know? They make for the cinders, and so must we. Even should an ambush await us, 'tis certain there will be more heretics to question. Cinders, you say? I confess the name is unknown to me. May have you be so good as to enlighten us, Estinien. I suspect it is the heretic's way of referring to the dreaming dragon, an island of sorts found in the midst of the frozen lake of Ashpool. Some 500 years past, this told that the Azure Dragoon of the age fought a dragon of titanic proportions. After a savage struggle, the mighty creature was weakened unto the point of death, and forced into a magic slumber by an entire chapter of the Holy Sea Sorcerers. Ere long, a rain of ash and cinders did begin to fall upon the sleeping serpent's motionless form, covering the creature at length in a shroud of grey. Of course, a thick layer of ice has since formed on top of it, but you may be sure I speak true. A fascinating tale. We should make haste to this ashen isle. Only in a land where warjars rage for 1,000 years could enough ash fall to bury a dragon the size of an island. What? You've driven off the heretics? That should certainly ease the minds of our surveyors. My thanks for riddling the tunnels of their rat infestation. With any luck, I shall finally be able to carry out my work uninterrupted. The dreaming dragon lies far to the west. Before you approach the frozen beast, however, there is another place I would visit first. I am told the convictors have set up camp in Twin Pools. Their leader, Gentilot, may have information of use to us. But mayhap you are not familiar with that name either. The convictors are dragon slayers, after a fashion, but I'm willing to wager that they encounter their fair share of heretics. If you're indeed walking into a trap, I would learn all there is to know of our foe. A sound suggestion. Let us speak with these convictors, then temper our haste with a measure of caution. Well, well, what do we have here? Hoping to join the esteemed ranks of the convictors, are we? The hard-eyed lad looks promising, but you have a frail look about you, boy. I give you 3 days ere the wilds claim your corpse. I beg your pardon? Be not so quick to judge. I have seen this frail youth fell heretics with a flick of his wrist. And who are you to question my... By the Fury! That armor, that lance, the Azure Dragoon himself graces our camp. Pray forgive my disrespect, sir. I am Gentilot, leader of the convictors and fellow slayer of dragons. May I ask what winds, fair or foul, carry you into our humble camp? Lady Iceheart, is it? Aye, I know her by reputation, but I'm afraid I've seen naught of her or her people. That said, my own men can be somewhat lax when it comes to making reports. You may wish to question them yourselves. Thank you. We shall. Enio, Estinien, let us make our way through the camp and see what information there is to be had. Surely one of these people will have encountered heretics while out hunting. Pray speak with as many as you can, Enio. Looking for heretics, you say? Why don't you go and bother Pireket or someone? I've had enough trouble keeping these preening fops fed and clothed as it is. It's no business of mine what folk do with themselves out there in the wilds. Aye, I know of no heretics. You honestly expect me to keep track of every Merx, Varamont, or bear tenant that wanders in and out of camp? Are there any heretics in the area? I have not the faintest idea. Why, a heretic could pass under my very nose, and I should be none the wiser. I hunt dragons, my dear fellow, the big ones. Forever ado I can scan the skies for signs of my prey. I care not for the miserable creatures that scurry upon the ground. Somewhat I can help you with, my lord. You see... heretics, is it? Well, I've never seen one myself, but that ain't to say I haven't heard a thing or two. We'd be grateful for any information you can share with us. The gods know we've gleaned precious little from talking to the rest of these people. If it please, my lord, I'm Pireket, a soldier by trade, though not much of one, if I'm honest. If it weren't for the love of stabbing folk that I took up the spear, see? No, it was by order of Sir Jantelot's father. Still, as long as they keep paying me wages, I ain't fuzzy as to what they have me to do. Not everyone's as patient as me, though. Plenty of lowborn lads who get pressed into service start grumbling before they've seen their second battle. And once they've got to thinking how unfair it all is, it don't take much for the heretics to turn their heads. From what I hear, the simple promise of freedom tends to do it. That may explain how Lady Hart was able to expand her following so swiftly. Sad to say, some mates of mine gobbled down the heretic stripe and asked for seconds. Told me they were off to the Western Highlands to light a signal fire. That's how you let the heretics know you're serious about joining their ranks, apparently. Set up some purple smoke and the bastards come to you. Is that so? Why then, I am minded to start a fire. If we are to lure our foes to our position, then we must find a means of producing a signal of purple hue. And so it so happens, I once heard the tale of a trapper who dropped the hide of a woolly yak onto his campfire. Aside from the terrible stench, the story also described in detail how the smoke from the smothered flames was tinged a deep violet. You are a monster hunter of some note, are you not, Enio? It should prove a trifling task for you to procure a number of hides. We may need to burn more than one ere the heretics notice our beacon. Master Alfinaud, you and I shall gather wood for the fire. Aye, it'll take the both of us to find enough dry fuel in this frozen wasteland. Let us meet again at the Dreaming Dragon with the fruits of our labor. Wow, that's a cool looking animation right there. I left Ishgard on a mission of noble purpose, and now here I am scrabbling for sticks in the snow. How can my hands be at once so numb yet so sore? It seemed that collecting firewood is a new experience for Master Alfinaud. His must have been a privileged upbringing. Have you the hides we need? Yes. Ah, I should have known it would be you. Word reached to me of a struggle with a small but well-armed band of trespassers. Forgive my comrades for their hostility. Few come here uninvited, and fewer steal away with good intent. Now, tell me why you are here. We wish to stop Nidhogg's attack on Ishgard. So, you seek to stem the Dravanian tide with talk. A romantic notion. If you but knew the truth, the spark which lit the flames of this animosity, you would understand the futility of your quest. Shall I relate it to you? The sordid history my gift has shown me, that which the Holy See has taken such pains to suppress. Yes. 'Twas more than a millennium past when an Elysian tribe first sought to claim the lands of Coerthas as its home. Unfortunately for them, Coerthas was already home to dragonkind, and they were not inclined to make way for the invaders. Thus did a bloody war begin, a war which might well have rumbled on until one or the other side was exterminated. Had it not been for the resolve of a single woman, that woman's name was Shiva. While those around her fought and died, she attempted to parley with the dragons, and in so doing, discovered them to be possessed of profound intelligence and reason. The great worm Harazvelger in particular so enchanted Shiva that she found herself growing to love the creature, whom her people considered a monster. In the eyes of a near-immortal dragon, however, the fleeting life of an Elysian is as that of a freshly cut rose. Scarce has the flower bloomed before it begins to fade and wither. Such melancholy musings plagued Harazvelger, who had found in Shiva an unexpected and beloved soulmate. He knew that all too soon, death would snatch her away from him. Unable to bear the thought of their separation, the maid bid the worm consume her, that their spirits might be entwined for eternity. Though loth to perform the deed, Harazvelger ultimately gave in to her plea, and soon thereafter, the tale of their ill-fated love spread throughout the two warring factions. No more could they raise blade or claw against one another, knowing that the souls of their kin were so inextricably bound. In the days that followed, man and dragon learned to live in harmony, and together built a nation unlike any the world had ever known. For 200 years did this blissful age of peace continue, as it would to this day, had vilest envy not stirred in the hearts of the Elysian. It is said that worms owe their longevity to the boundless reserves of vitality found within their eyes, and 'twas in this belief that a traitorous band of knights deceived their allies of some 2 centuries, and took by force that which they coveted. Nidhogg, he who now stands poised to unleash his wormlings upon Ishgard, was the great dragon who lost an eye to Elysian treachery. And until he prizes it from the hands of the traitor's progeny, no amount of conciliatory words will stay his fury. You are wrong, Lady Iceheart. Lest you misunderstand, I do not doubt your vision of the past. 'Tis true that Nidhogg greatly desired to reclaim the eye. Indeed, it was for that very reason that I kept it with me as I roamed the land, attempting to draw him away from the city. Good gods. Until recently, Nidhogg seemed unable to resist its allure and pursued me relentlessly. Needless to say, that is no longer the case. Now, it would seem he has fixed his attention on Ishgard itself, though he knows full well the eye does not reside there. You believe he targets the capital for another reason. I believe reason has all but left him. Through the eye, I feel much of what Nidhogg feels, and the dragon's thirst for vengeance will not be quenched by aught less than a sea of blood. If Nidhogg is indeed lost to reason, might we not seek an audience with Heavensward instead? He has thus far shown no inclination to aid in the invasion of Ishgard, and may yet welcome our efforts to broker a peace. You still believe that a peaceable solution can be found? Very well. I will take you to him. Our road will lead us to Dravania, the homeland of dragonkind. There we shall ascend onto the clouds, where Heavensward resides. Flashback? Or not? What just happened? Is aught amiss, my friend? I sense the many battles are beginning to take their toll. Rest a while, and should you lose sight of us, Dravania lies beyond the mountains to the west. Curious, the vestiges of thy mistress's blessing are not as faint as once they were. Thy will to succeed grants the unusual fortitude, but will it be enough? We journey to the homeland of dragons, Enio. The scholar within me burns to see the sights I have but read about, as does the child within me, I confess. Be on your guard, warrior of light. With the mistress of the heretics as our guide, we may yet find that we are being led to our graves. You are Enio, yes? Pray address me as Izael, if you wish. 'Tis passing strange, is it not, that fate should bring us together thus? Never did I think to walk alongside the warrior of light. But history is full of such unexpected alliances. Shall we make our way into Dravania, then? The chill of the Western Highlands is unrelenting, and I would sooner be under the sheltering canopy of the Chocobo Forest. Beyond the Balatia Spine, the great mountain range that spans the continent of Aldenard from east to west, into the deepening shadows of Soma, where lies the ancient home of dragonkind. To a land where the soil slithers and the sky seethed with sinuous shapes they came. You sense them, Enio, a gathering of dragons to the west. This forest was mentioned in the pages of the New Orzian Geographic. As I recall, the author advised travelers to give the local chocobos a wide berth. According to her, they can be remarkably aggressive. We now stand on the threshold of Dervania. The path to Solmal will take us far to the west, beyond the embrace of the forest's branches. It will be a long and demanding journey. Might I suggest that we take our rest at the village up ahead and see that we are properly provisioned? There is a village here? But I thought these lands the sole domain of dragonkind. Or would anyone choose to live in so perilous a place? The wild chocobos. Tailfeather was built by hunters who make their living capturing and selling the beasts. Their leader, Marcichamp, is an acquaintance of mine. Being a gregarious sort, he will no doubt welcome our arrival, and he will also possess more recent knowledge of the road we seek to travel. I trust there are no objections? Only to this ceaseless chatter. If you are to meet this acquaintance of yours, let us do it before Ishgard burns. Well, tan my head and call me Leatherface. We have visitors. Oh, and if it ain't the lovely Zale. It's been too long, girl. That it has, Marcichamp. That it has. My companions and I are on a pilgrimage to Solmal. Might we stay in Tailfeather a while and prepare for the next leg of our journey? Of course, of course. Stay as long as you like. In fact, I wouldn't suggest leaving the forest at all. The dragons have been absolutely bleeding murderous of late. Forgive me, sir, but I'm not sure I understand. Do the dragons not bother you here in the forest? Bother us? Did Azale not explain things to you, boy? You've seen them towering Kalum trees all about, haven't you? If you were flying above the canopy, you'd barely be able to see the ground. And as you expect, the local wildlife's canny enough to stay hidden beneath the leaves, which is why the dragons do their hunting elsewhere, and we can do ours in peace. I see. Thank you for the explanation. You're welcome. Now, I know it won't stop Azale here, but dragons ain't the only things you'll need to keep an eye out for. Especially if you're set on heading west. I dare say you're wondering what could possibly be worse than dragons, eh? Well, I'll tell you. The bloody Gnot. They're what you might get if you crossed an antling with a megalocrab and taught the thing how to walk on two legs. They're never used to stray far from their hives out of the fear of the dragons. They've gotten a lot more aggressive of late, sending out war parties from mounds in all directions. They've even taken to harassing the Dervanians in their own lairs, if you can believe it. And when they venture into the forest, which is more and more, by the way, they certainly ain't afraid to come after my lot. I can only imagine how much worse to be closer to Gnot's home territory. It would seem that much has changed in Nirvania. The Gnats were not wont to cause such strife when I lived here. You lived here? In Nirvania? Aye. Was in a time following the calamity. My family was dead. My home was gone. And I had fled from the bitter cold into these lands. I knew not the paths of the forest then, and wandered out from under the protection of its boughs. That was when I chanced upon Reisvilger. He had descended from his mountain lair to hunt for food. My exhausted mind could not contend with the sight of the majestic worm, nor the vision of the past his presence visited upon me. Thankfully, Marchachamp found my unconscious form at the edge of the trees, and nursed me back to health. And in Tailfeather, I remained for some time. Hence your familiarity with the locals. But I interrupted you. You were saying these Gnat were once a peaceful people? Peaceful would not be the most fitting description. They are a fiercely territorial tribe, and any who intrude upon their domain are attacked without hesitation or quarter. Outside the borders of their homeland, however, they were rarely hostile. Indeed, we were even able to trade with them on occasion. They have changed then. What of it? We have not the time to creep through the underbrush on some roundabout route. I say we make straight for Suamau and crush any unruly insect we meet underfoot. A more direct path, then. Very well. Let us first follow the trail west of the forest and make for the statue of the Stained One. From there, we should have a fair view of the road that leads to Suamau. Shall we? Should we chance to meet Merlwyb again, remind me to thank him. Had he not warned us to expect the knot, I doubt we would be standing here. Amid ruins that I would tentatively describe as Ishgardian, the style, if not quite identical, betrays a definite resemblance. You have a scholar's eye, Master Alfinaud. This structure is, in fact, over 1,000 years old. It is a remnant of the age when our ancestors and dragonkind lived together in peace. You claim this as evidence of our harmonious past? I was thought that these buildings were constructed by heretics, in honor of your Dravanian masters. This rubble inspires no such awe in me. Stubborn fool! How desperately you cling to the false teachings of your beloved Holy See. Enough, both of you. You threaten the success of our mission with this incessant squabbling. Enio, pray reason with these two. Grunt. Our goal is the same. The truth of the past will be revealed. Quite. Lest you forget, our goal is to prevent a war which will claim the lives of Dravanians and Ishgardians alike. If we are to accomplish this, you must learn to tolerate each other's presence. Trust in Enio's gift. In time, the secrets of history will be brought to light. Let that be enough, Estinien. You would have me keep my counsel until Enio's visions confirm the truth? Very well, but bait me not. Our meeting with Hraesvelgr will likely provide the catalyst Enio's gift requires, as it did mine. Let us press on. Dragons in the sky and not upon the ground. One must need sprout eyes in the back of one's head to survive this land. These ant-men are bold to bring their war to the dragon's doorstep. Mayhap we should invite them to man the walls of Ishgard. Spy you the 3 great towers to the west? Ishgardians know them as Annex Trine. The place serves as a roost for Hraesvelgr's lesser kindred. If we are to reach the peak of Suamau, then we must first beseech these dragons to open the way. But do not be disheartened. The one who leads them is a friend. Of rather more concern is the disposition of the knot. Let us survey the approach to the towers and see if the path is clear. 'Twould seem the enemy on mine enemy is also mine enemy. The knot are fast becoming a nuisance. They seem to plague our every step. 'Tis as I feared. The road ahead is teeming with knot soldiers. Merlwyb did not exaggerate, then. These beastmen have grown brazen indeed if they would threaten the dragons so openly. Do they intend to assault the lair itself? I pray do they not. Mighty though my Dravanian friends are, they are yet vulnerable to the knot's muskets. There is no route save the one before us. Should the beastmen offer battle, we have no choice but to accept. A greater dragon approaches. A scale of this structure is nothing short of outstanding. But that is only to be expected, I suppose, given the size of its occupants. I take no pleasure in killing the Gnat. 'Twas to avoid bloodshed that I agreed to join you in this journey. Well, it cannot be helped. We may proceed into the courtyard together, but leave the task of hailing its occupants to me. And keep your lance on your back, Dragoon. On my word to the Warrior of Light, I shall start no fight, only finish it. You truly are beyond salvation. Come, then. Vidofnir! Ah, there's thee, little one. From above I did mistake thee for a knot. 'Tis well I chanced to look again, or thou wouldst now be ash. Dear Vidofnir, how I have missed you. Would that I had come sooner, and not out of dire necessity. Thou art troubled. Speak, that I might know thy plight. You see, thou wouldst have father admonish his brood brother. I would end this war without further bloodshed. How am I to believe thee, little one, when thine own companion beareth Nidhogg's stolen eye? Have care, dragon, or I shall gouge out one of yours. You forget yourself, sir. We are here on a mission of peace. My sires will forbid me from inviting discord to our home. This for this reason and no other, that thou still drawest breath, knight. Vidofnir, please. We must be allowed to convey our intentions to Reisvelger in person, with words of our own choosing. Grant us this favor and open the way to some owl. Thou hast ever been welcome, little one. But I cannot grant thy wish. I am bound to remain here and protect my kin from the Gnat's god. The Gnat have summoned a primal? Pray excuse my forwardness, but if we were to eliminate the threat to your territory, would you consent to Lady Izael's request? Ha! Dost thou imagine thyself equal to the task, to succeed where dragons have failed? 'Tis beyond thee, immortal, but thou art welcome to try nonetheless. Only know that idle promises shall avail thee not. It would seem we have no choice but to make good on Alpinaud's offer. Why must our every bid for peace breed yet more war? Once more a primal rears its head, and once more the task of slaying it falls to you. Would that I, too, possess the echo. By the Fury, must we now defeat a primal that we might treat with a worm? I do begin to see how you gain your reputation for surmounting the insurmountable. So, the Gnat have summoned their god, and thus is a mystery of their newfound belligerence laid to rest. Are you not glad, Lady Iceheart? I thought you would applaud them for summoning a primal to further their own ends. After all, you did. I did not reach out to Saint Shiva to further mine own ends. I desired her strength only to forge anew the peace between man and dragon. But what a fool I am to speak of peace to you, a bloodthirsty savage who murders without thought or compunction. Enough! Enough, I say. If the Nut have truly brought forth their deity from the Aether, we must face it together, or watch our hopes fall apart. All now rests upon this primal's defeat. But here we think of confronting it. We must first study its origins. What is the nature of this god? What manner of fate sustains its existence? My apologies. You are right, of course. Let us return to Tailfeather and consult with Marchichamp. He knows more of the Nod and their culture than most. Oh, back already, are we? Met the Nod, did you? And what is it you'd like to... You see... Summoned a primal, you say? Seven hells. Well, I don't know bugger all about Nod religion, if I'm honest. Beyond their trading habits, there never seems much point in asking. But it shouldn't be that hard to find out. From time to time, we barter with a small hive to the north and west of here. Outcasts from the main tribe, from what I understand. I'd reckon they'd be willing to tell you a bit about themselves, if you give them the right incentives. That sounds promising. And what exactly would a Nod consider to be the right incentives? Oh, nothing your average hunter couldn't scrounge up in a day or two. But seeing as you're in a hurry, you might want to divide the chores amongst yourselves. You want a good-sized jar of landtrap nectar, a basket of calum tree fruit, and, always a Nod favorite, a generous portion of young Nunca flesh. I shall gather the fruit. Leaping to the lower branches of these forest giants should present little challenge to me. Then I shall collect the nectar, with Master Alfinaud's arcane assistance. And that leaves you to bring home the meat. You'll need to carve it from the smaller Nuncas that live in the rivers. 3 big hunks should be enough, I reckon. Once you've got everything together, you'll need to set it down at what we call the trading post. Here, I'll mark the spot on your map for you. You've been most kind, Master Marchichamp. Well then, let us attend to our respective task and reconvene at the trading post. I need hardly add that the last one there is a rotten Nunca egg. When I set out to master the Dragoon's jump, it was not to strike fear into the hearts of high-hanging fruit. Master Alfinaud possesses a rare talent for the arcane arts. Should he continue to apply himself to their study, he will become a formidable mage in time. I was able to gather a goodly amount of nectar from the land traps, though I would not have known to harvest it without Izel's help. Do you have the Nunca meat? Yes. Splendid! I shall put this with Estinien's fruit and assemble a suitably generous-looking hamper for the knot. Well, everything appears to be in order. Assuming no one has any objections to my choice of presentation, I shall place our offerings at the trading post as instructed. Were I of the knot, I think I would be suitably impressed. Well, how long must we wait? Should we have sounded a signal or some such? Calm yourself, Master Alfinaud. Our offering has not gone unnoticed. Long has it been since hunters last came to trade, bearing gifts that filled the air with such delightful scents. Landtrap nectar, Calum tree fruit, and anka flesh. What delectable foods you have brought for us. Our meager insistence is much enriched by your bounty. Come, hunters. Come to our hive if you would trade. Cramped and stifling our homes are, but the rancid incense keeps the dragons at bay. Cramped, stifling, and horribly smelly. But better to live in stench than be cracked and crunched by dragon jaws, yes? Come, come, it is not far. Can toes truly be not? Were it not for their appearance, I would think them wholly unrelated to the savage creatures that attacked us on the road. Though these knots seem harmless enough. Almost jovial, even. I would prefer, however, that we conclude our business with them as soon as possible. Strangely friendly, are they not? Or mayhap just strange. Your presence has been announced to the storyteller. You must speak to our chosen leader in words, for we are what? We are the non-mind. Welcome to our hive, hunters. You have brought delicacies much sought after by our people, and we are much pleased. What would you have in return? Honored Elder, pray allow me to begin by thanking you for welcoming us into your home, and for accepting our humble offerings. My companions and I have come in search of knowledge, specifically knowledge of your people's god. Knowledge alone? What strange hunters you are. But if it is words you desire, then words you shall have. We are the Vat, the non-mind, and to speak is our fate. You will hear the tale of the Not's god, of the god the One Mind summoned into our midst. The One Mind, these are the Not who reside in the main colony? Yes, they are one, connected. But let us begin the story at its beginning. Some moons ago, a single dragon flew in from the east, bleeding and weak. It fell from the sky and into the hive, where it was sworn by my brethren. And with spear and spell and musket, the dragon was slain. 'Twas likely one that had fled battle with my kinsmen. I should commend you for finishing the job. Dragons are fierce and terrible adversaries. The One Mind would always cower when their winged shadows passed over the ground. But no longer. They had learned that a battle-weary Ravanian was easy prey. Does the Overmind decide to heed the words of the black-robed men? The One Mind would call forth our god and unleash his blades upon the dragons. The Ranian's lands would become not lands, and ever larger would grow our domain. But our god ever hungers. The price he demands in crystals far exceeds the rewards for this war. We of the Vat despise and revile his insatiable existence. Even a wounded dragon is a dangerous opponent. These ant-men did well to overpower one. The beast tribes have ever summoned their gods out of necessity. That the gods should do so out of mere covetousness sets a worrying precedent. I call upon the power of a primal for the greater good, conscious all the while that I do so at a grave cost to the land. I reason that it is a necessary evil, and willingly shoulder the burden of my sin. In suggesting that such crimes can be justified, you may argue that I presume too much. But you must surely see that I am aware of the magnitude of my transgressions. Not so the Knot. They summoned their deity for no greater purpose than to expand their dominion. To a sign of the Seventh Dawn, one sworn to eliminate the primal threat, the distinction you draw seems questionable at best. But the fact remains that my own grandfather risked unleashing the power of the 12 in an attempt to prevent the calamity. Thus, while I may not condone your actions, I at least understand them. Not so the Knot, as you rightly put it. If they truly seek naught but territorial gain, I can only conclude that they are ignorant of the ruinous consequences of their god's insatiable appetite. The longer this primal is suffered to exist, the greater the suffering it will cause. It must be destroyed. How lightly you propose the destruction of this god, Master Alfinaud, a being of whom we know not. Has it occurred to you that you may be sending the Warrior of Light to his death? No, You have the right of it, Estinien. It would seem it is I who am guilty of presuming too much. Pray forgive me, Enio. I do not fear my duty. Wait, Enio did not face this foe alone. Like him, I am blessed with the Echo's protection. I may do battle without fear of a primal influence. Let me bear this burden. Ha! Do you truly imagine yourself a second Warrior of Light? Remind me, how many primals have you faced, my lady? Not that it matters. We know not where this god resides, or how to challenge it. Unless you mean to pray until it appears. Estinien makes a valid point. Let us speak with the Vat and learn how best to secure an audience with their deity. In this, at least, I may be of assistance. The young lord certainly appears eager to prove his worth. We are Vat. We are the non-mind. We do not hear the one mind's thoughts. We cannot predict their will. You wish to meet our god? Offer yourself as a sacrifice, and you will soon be brought before him. We would mourn the loss of such generous hunters, however. Put this idea from your mind, generous hunters. If you meet with our god, then you will have your souls. Surely are you not as generous as that? You are generous hunters, yes? Many gifts you have brought, but not enough for all Vat to enjoy. Maybe you could bring us just one more. We're very fond of Nanka flesh. Yes, the meat of a young Nanka would make a fine repast. We Vat do enjoy our Nanka flesh. Have you been out hunting yet? Another gift for the Vat? So unexpected. Yes. You will have more of the word you strange hunters hunger for. Listen now. The senses of the one mind are enmeshed by the overmind. What one sees, all see. What one feels, all feel. Alert a single knot, and the whole hive is alerted. To reach our god undetected is all but impossible. How strange what spoken language seemed to those who once shared minds. It's little wonder the Vat are by turns so obscure and transparent in their meaning. I do not envy the Ant-Men their bond. Were every man's mind made known to his neighbor, Ishgard would not last a bell. The Vat are wont to allude to certain concepts without explanation, but I believe I am beginning to grasp a few of the fundamentals. From what I understand, the king-like Overmind sits at the center of Knot society, and its presence somehow allows its subjects to communicate without the need of word or gesture. These not, the ones who inhabit the larger hive, are known as the One Mind, and it was by their combined will that the primal was summoned. Those who reside in this smaller hive, however, are the Vat, or the non-mind, who, for reasons that yet escape me, seem to have been excluded from the telepathic bond which connects their not counterparts. Thus are the Vat ignorant of the One Mind's thoughts and intentions, and of the nature of their own god. In summary, we have wasted our time. Not so. Perilous though it may be, the Vat did furnish us with one certain method of approaching the primal, as sacrifices. Should we allow ourselves to be captured in the environs of the colony, the Knot will bring us before their deity to make an offering of our souls. Forgive me, but let us be clear about what it is that you propose. You mean to say that you would deliberately provoke the Knot, surrender yourself into what might generously be termed their custody, and then wait until their god arrives to claim your soul? Aye, that fairly well describes my plan. You will join me in this endeavor, will you not, Enio? Judging by the great risk you took to prevent the summoning of Saint Shiva, you are not a man to err on the side of caution. Would that I could fight at your side, Warrior of Light, but the power of the dragon is no protection against primal influence. Forgive me, but I must remain here with Master Alfinard. Then it is settled. Enio, you and I shall challenge the guards at the entrance of to the colony. Once the hive is roused, we shall feign a brief show of resistance, and then allow them to take us prisoner. Intruders, your lives are forfeit. The Overmind must by now be aware of our intrusion. Let us press on into the hive, ensure that we have our host's undivided attention. When you're out of here. That should be sufficient. If you did not have our host's full attention before, you must surely have it now. Our audience with the primal may be granted soon after our capture. Pray advise me once you have steeled your mind for the battle to come. You are prepared, then? Hold here, Enio. When next the Gnat come, we offer no resistance. Surrender, intruders, there is no escape. Enough! We surrender. We throw ourselves upon the mercy of your god. They seem eager to proceed. Good. When they take us before their lord, pray leave matters to me. If what I know of summoning rituals holds true, I shall be well placed to act. Mark the sound of the river rushing through the ravine behind us. Passing loud, is it not? I imagine the noise would serve to mask our escape, should we need to withdraw temporarily. And they're right there. And they're not going to do anything about this? Okay. But you are prepared, are you not? I do hope so. If I were to be dragged away for sacrifice while you were haggling over the price of potions, I should not be amused. Try to escape and we'll break your fleshy legs. Though I dismissed Master Elfinaut's concerns, I confessed I didn't wonder how the Knot might treat their prisoners. Happily, it would seem they are not wont to harm sacrifices, nor even to disarm them. Plainly, they imagine their god invulnerable. Plan goes better than expected. Now we have but to wait. Oh, Lord Ravana, Master of the Sacred Blades, Rat of the Colony, Conqueror of the world, hear our prayer. Pray grant unto your devoted children the gift of your divine presence. He comes. All strength to the colony. Speak and I shall listen. Oh, glorious General, we have captured intruders and would make unto you an offering of their life's blood. These feeble fleshlings dare to invade Notlands. Hear me, Lord Ravana. My companion and I did not come to contest your children's territory. We wished only to learn the reason you wage war against the dragons. Thou wouldst flirt with death merely to satisfy thy curiosity? Wherefore should the glorious conquest of the Knot concern thee so, Elezen? Mayhap thine own kind struggle against the worms fare it poorly, and thou art desirous of pact. We crave no alliance, Lord Ravana, only peace. We would bring an end to our war with the dragons. Yet so long as they remain embroiled in this conflict with your children, our goal shall remain out of reach. Never before have the Knot risen up in such numbers, and never yet with you at their head. Why do you lead them to war? Thy question hath no meaning. To live is but to fight. Long have my children waited, gathering their strength in the shadow of thy ceaseless conflict. The Knot would see the Dervanians slain, and their territory secured, and by such fervent prayers am I now given form and purpose. As I feared, your very existence in us is an obstacle to our goal. Since you are so fond of fighting, we challenge you, Lord of the Knot. And should we emerge the victors, I would have you swear to withdraw your soldiers from Dravanian soil. Thou art bold indeed to risk thy flesh hide so readily. Very well. I, Ravana, fourfold master of the blade, do accept thy challenge. But should I emerge the victor, I would have thee swear to serve in mine army till thy last breath is spent. Do you accept? I do, and I believe the first bout is mine. What is this? A god clad in flesh? Is aught to miss, my lord? Thou wilt not break thy word, I trust. Thine oath is unbending as steel, little goddess. Thy rules will add but mine to mine enjoyment. Nice. Ouch. I thought myself stronger. Mayhap with more crystals. Be thou god or maid, thou art nothing to me. And what of thee, mortal? Art thou warrior or craven? You'll pay for that. A warrior, then. Good, mayhap thou wilt provide more sport than thy feeble companion. Forgive me. I was overconfident. The rat of the colony is undefeated. Victory to the knot. Ugh, I'm getting tired, but it just is fun. Okay. There we go, we got it. Hails thou sacred riders, come back, proclaim the victor. I lay my blades at thy feet, child of man. That wasn't too bad. You do not disappoint, warrior of light. Would that I had your skill in battle, I do begin to see why so many place their faith in you. For all his savagery, I do not think Ravana wanted to break his word. Provided the dragons do not trespass upon Gnat lands, they should have little to fear of the Primal's biting blades. We have done well, have we not? Come, let us return to Vidofnir and share these glad tidings. Oh, it's you again. Once more you achieved the impossible, bringer of light. But with every mortal heart that succumbs to fear and fury, let their voices join to the chorus, besieging divine succor. At their bidding, the warring gods will shake their firmament, and your world will be consumed in the swelling storm of chaos. Never since we first fought have I seen you draw upon the full extent of your power, and never from afar till this day. You were a marvel to behold, Enio. Well, this time we rejoined our companions. They will be eager to hear that tale, and to continue our journey. That man's god is fallen then. Impressive, warrior of light. Enio, Lady Izael, thank the 12. You see, Lord Ravana, you say. How curious that the Vat never mentioned his name. And you are quite certain he will keep his word? There was honor beneath his savagery. That we survived the encounter at all was a miracle. A miracle I must attribute to Enio. Never did I doubt you, warrior of light, unlike some. You were gone so long that Master Alphen out here nigh lost his wits with worry. Fretting like a maid for her sweetheart, he was. Estinien, was that truly necessary? Not truly necessary, but certainly true. Ahem. What matters is that the Primal is banished, and our promise fulfilled. We should return to Vidofnir without delay. Lest you forget, this was but a means to secure an audience with the worm Raubahn. Adhog's minions will not be halted by idle chatter. Come, now, we must make every moment count. You are unkind, Estinien. For all his experience and intellect, Alphinaud is still but a boy. Ah, you should have seen the boy fretting. It was a sight to behold. Tease him no more. Master Alphinaud is to be applauded for his sense of responsibility. Given his years, there's also wonder the burden weighs heavy upon his shoulders. It is natural for him to feel concern for his companions. Shall we be on our way to Einek's shrine, then? I will not have the dragons think that we have forgotten our bargain. Will the dragon now honor her word? That remains to be seen. You should be the one to break the news. The victory was yours, after all. Vidofnir will be pleased to hear of Lord Ravana's defeat, and of his pledge to recall his soldiers. Thou art returned, a little one. Hast thou abandoned thine ill-conceived contest with the knot? Nay, my friend, which return in triumph. By Enio's hand was the beastman's god, Lord Ravana, laid low. In his overconfidence, the Primal swore to withdraw his followers from your lands in the event of his defeat, a promise we believe he will keep. The knot shall trouble you no longer. The deity is slain, then. How didst thou contend with his biting blades? But the particulars matter not. Thou hast fulfilled thy promise, and I shall fulfill mine. Attend me, mortals. Hie you unto the deepest reaches of morn, and there shall you find Halo, the altar from which you may begin your ascent to the summit of Somal. But be fairly warned, the minions of Nidhogg shall not lightly suffer your presence on that sacred mount. By your struggles within the cavern shall I judge your party possessed of sufficient fortitude to proceed. We shall not disappoint you, Vidofnir. If memory serves, the Cavern Morn is entered from the second floor of the central tower. Let us begin the climb. Well done, little one. As promised, I shall open the way to Somal's summit for thee and thy companions. Heed me now, children of man. The domain you seek to enter had not seen visitors of your kind in nigh 1,000 years. Though I freely grant you passage, your presence will not be welcomed. To my kin, this mountain is revered as holy ground and resting place, both where you the minions of Nidhogg during your ascent. For 'tis certain they shall take great offense at your intrusion. We are grateful for your warnings, gentle Vidofnir. My final words are for thee, Dragoon. Have care to keep the stolen power thou wieldest in check, lest it breed further despair. Estinien? The way is open. Let us not tarry here. A moment? Shall we blindly forge on, knowing the dangers that await us? Teoman herself is set to guard this peak. I do not fear Nidhogg's consort. Any dragon foolish enough to bar our path shall feel the sting of my lance. Spoken like a true butcher. Need I remind you that we are come to parley a peace? Let us be clear, heretic. 'Twas to save Ishgard and her people that I first lent my support to this doubtful venture, and this for their sake that I go now to speak with Raisvelgr. But I said nothing of Teoman. Should the opportunity to present itself to rid my people of one of their deadliest enemies, I shall take it. That is my duty as Azure Dragoon. You are beyond redemption. We will accomplish nothing by bickering. If we are to meet Raisvelgr, our path leads up the mountain. We shall defend ourselves if attacked, but avoid conflict whenever possible. What other choice do we have? Interesting. There we go. Almost there. Just the last. Here we go. One more try. There we go. Finally. Oh, I thought that would never end. All right, there's one more cutscene and that's it. That's it. Whew. What a long day. Here it is. Oh, let me guess. The other gems will be done later. 4 gems, 3 or 4 gems. I'm starting to get tired here.
Enio!
Would seem Tiaman was the last. I sense no other dragons nearby. What is happening? Nidhogg, he roars. He knows we are here, then. His fury, it bleeds through the eye. Fear not. I am yet my own master. But that damn worm's wrath burns hotter than the flame. Come, the heart of the dragon's homeland yet lies before us. Do we add another link to the chain of vengeance? Oh, Saint Shiva, when will it end? To the peak of Somal, at the end of a perilous mountain path. Whence could be seen a string of pearl-like islands, floating impossibly atop a sea of clouds. To a domain where dragons and men had once lived in harmony, whose majesty no mortal eye had glimpsed for a nigh on 1,000 years, they came. The Churning Mists. Never been here before. Well, I gotta go. It's been fun, and I can't wait to see what next on this journey here. Take it easy, guys. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see y'all either next week or next week. Take it easy, and have a wonderful night. Later.